What do you think the market will make of all of that then? Because it's messy now, isn't it? On Monday, it sounded like a brilliant, clean-cut offer, and now you read the statement and there's much more to it.
Look, I don't think this is going to come as a huge surprise because we've already seen two private equity companies withdrawing at that $1.45 level after due diligence. So the speculation was that, Billabong had been too optimistic around its EBITDA forecast, and indeed that now looks like it's the case. Previously, they were forecasting underlying EBITDA to come in between $100 to $110 million, and we've now seen that downgrade come through. $85 to $92 million is a new forecast for the current financial year. We've seen an update on some of the areas in which they operate. It does look like Europe's still quite difficult with some cancellation in terms of winter stock, and also Nixon, the net profit coming in below expectations there. So altogether, a pretty disappointing update coming through from Billabong. Of course, on Monday, before the shares went into a trading halt, we saw the shares jumping quite significantly on the back of media reports of that $1.10 bid. We have a look at Billabong. This is what the share price looks like, and you can see that we ended quite well on Monday before the shares went into a trading halt. But given the update around profit expectations and this bid now looking uncertain, we are expecting to see a pullback when the shares come back.
Run the rule yet more over things in the data room to find more skeletons in the old proverbial closet. Let's talk further. Accountability, transparency, that's what our banks like to pride themselves on. Julia, what's ANZ going to throw up at its AGM today?
Well, ANZ's AGM is going to be on focus. We've seen an update from the other big four banks, and really what we are seeing is subdued conditions. With ANZ, the differentiator is the super regional strategy, and that's really what we're going to be watching. They're aiming for 25 to 30% of earnings to come from Australasia by 2017. At the moment, it stands at about 13, so we're looking for an update around that area. Also here domestically, we've seen an increase in competition coming through from CBA as well as Westpac, so how that is being addressed. And if we have a look at ANZ, it's been an underperformer in the wealth area. It's been focusing in on this in terms of strategy updates over the last month, and it does look like, wealth is growing at a slower rate in some of the developed nations, and instead Asia is going to really step up to the plate. So ANZ is making a priority places like China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, as well as Singapore and Taiwan. So that's going to be an interesting place to watch, seeing that ANZ's performance really lags in this area. It does look like pay is a big issue in the media today, so no doubt that will come up. But ANZ also paying its dividend today, so it's going to be interesting to see whether that money makes its way back into the stock. So we should see ANZ pretty well supported, but I guess a lot of question marks in terms of its strategy, given the soft environment domestically, increased competition here, and an update on that super regional Asia strategy.
What else are you watching today? Because in terms of levels, we did get over that psychological line of the 17-month high intra-session yesterday, then a bit of a pullback. Today, what's the next target?
I have a feeling it's going to be a good day on the Australian share market. We're expecting to see fresh 17-month highs on the back of that performance coming through from the US. And coming into year-end, it's all about that fiscal cliff. The fact that Obama looks like he's willing to make some concessions around tax, really signalling to the market that a deal is pretty close, and that's been a positive. Tonight in the US, one thing we're watching closely is FedEx. Now, they're going to come out with an earnings result and also an update to the market. And really what we're watching for here are holiday volumes. What are the shipping volumes like around this holiday season, and also the outlook, because FedEx is seen as a bellwether. One thing that may see the Australian market underperforming compared to the US, though, are some numbers coming out of China, and it looks like China has set a 2013 growth target of 7.5%. So that's below the 8% that they were aiming for this year. So it does look like that slowing growth story still a theme in the Chinese economy. And if we have a look at commodity prices, well, gold saw a big drop off, down by 1.6%. And I guess if we have a look at gold, one of the things that could bring this bull run in gold down to an end is when we do see the growth outlook in some of those developed countries like the US improving, and we start to see interest rates increase, and that means there's a carry cost for gold, and that would bring down, I guess, the case of gold that we're seeing at the moment. At the moment, what we are seeing is quantitative easing, and that's something that we've seen throughout the last few years, and that's been an extremely positive thing for gold. But if we see the opposite happening and interest rates start to rise, then that gold bull case will start to deteriorate. We did see our miners doing well, though, offshore. We saw BHP up by 1.2% in London. Rio Tinto was up by 2.8%, so doing substantially better. And I guess the difference between these two is BHP's exposure to oil. Oil prices were up by 0.3%, but Rio Tinto is primarily an iron ore company, and iron ore has been doing extremely well this year. So altogether, it does look like it's going to be a pretty good day for the Australian share market, but watch those gold miners. They've had a horrid week so far, and it does look like some more losses there.